Oh, we are back, eh? Sawa sawa. So most of you know that whenever we're having a live and someone calls, most of the times we just say that's a demon calling. Most of the time, you'd be like, who's calling? That's a demon, because some people are just supposed to know, especially if someone calls and you see this is someone who knows you and they know that at this particular moment you're usually live. So now, there are some things that you need to learn to let go. And this also is as this live is also as a result of another conversation that I had again in this morning. So most of the lives that we do in the morning will be based on interactions with most of you. Some of you in the DM, some of you in the WhatsApp groups that we be in, some of you as friends, some of you as being more than friends na vitu kama hizo. So we like talking about ending relationships. We like talking about divorce. We love talking about ending what we call romantic relationships. But no one is talking about ending friendships. Okay? I'll give you an example. I don't have friends in my life. I'm a friend to people. You get what I'm saying? I'm a friend to people. But I don't have friends in my life. I have very few friends I can count as friends. Even the people I can say are friends, after some times I realize if it was me, I would have done way more, or I would have gone way more out of my way for them. So that always reminds me. So this is even why when they were talking to that Jewish teacher, they used to call him Yeshua or Jesus. He said, lucky is a man who can count his friends in the palm of his hand. Okay? And just like people falling out of what you call romantic relationships, so can you also fall out of what we call friendships, relationships. But you see, in relationships, people expect you to break up. People expect you to have another relationship, get a new boyfriend, get a new man friend, get a new whatever you align to. That's on yourself. We don't care. Now, when it comes to friendships, we have these expectations that we are supposed to remain friends for all our lives. I'll give you an example. And most probably they're even watching, but it doesn't matter. So there's a WhatsApp group that the people used to go to school with in high school. They set up, okay, an alumni. These groups that they call alumni groups. So there's a WhatsApp group that they formed. And they put me in the group. So me, I remained quiet in the group. Even now I'm in the group, but I don't even say anything in the group. They called me the other day and I said, I'm not coming. So they were expecting, since we went to the same classroom, to the same school, that we were friends. Okay? That we are friends. So they have these expectations from the society that we should stay as friends throughout our lives. Remind you, these are people you cannot have a conversation with today. Okay? Because, for example, when they had the first meeting, one of the people in the group who was my classmate, he's now called a reverend, he's in the group. Some people who lead like church, whatever, you know the kind of setup I'm talking about. So when they say that they have set a WhatsApp group for us to go and start joining, I politely declined. I sent them a message and I said, wait, look, we went to school together. We were in the same classroom together. If we meet, it's okay. However, I cannot come and meet you as friends the way we used to be in school. First, I never enjoyed a day in my school, in high school. My whole high school was trauma. I never enjoyed a single day of high school. Whatever I was going through didn't allow me to connect with anyone in school, which is deep because there's another live that I was doing on Facebook, and one of the teachers who used to be a teacher reached out to me. He called me. He went to my Facebook, found my number, and he called me, said, I'm so sorry because as your class teacher, I knew something was wrong, but I couldn't pick it up. I couldn't pick up that you are going through so much when you are growing up. This is a teacher. So if a teacher who's a grown-up then didn't even pick it up when we were in school, in high school, and is calling years later after watching my video on Facebook, and I was talking about trauma that we picked as children and the abuse na vitu kama hizo. So imagine you being my student in the same class. That means you are blind and deaf to whatever was happening to me because we were in the same age mate, so you couldn't have helped me. Okay? So a lot of you are going through what you call societal expectations that you need friendships throughout your life. And there are some friendships that you have to let them go. They are no longer serving you. Just because you went to school with someone, just because you are in the same campus with someone and you are friends, doesn't mean that they are friends now. So many of us are holding on to friendships. Even if something is feeling off, even if you no longer share anything with that person, you don't share a connection with you just because we went to school together. Oh, we have to come together. Just because we had a history together does not mean that we have to be friends. Okay? Because what happens is that slowly resentment starts coming in. Okay? Because what is happening is this. We are keeping these relationships going not because we want to, but from a space of obligations. You're obligated to meet your alumni. You're obligated to meet your subgroup you formed after high school. You're obligated to meet these people you met when you went for this trip. So your relationships becomes an obligation. So you start resenting meeting for those meetups. You start feeling a certain way because you are like, hii Sunday tunaenda kukula nyama tena. And then this is the other thing. Why are we so hungry as Africans that even when you decide to create groups where we meet after whatever as friends, they always have to involve going and eating. Tutakutana wapi? There's a nice pork. Sasa inakuwa competition. Tunashindana naye ajua place poa ya pork. Kwa tutakutana afternoon and catch up with we have nothing. We are not creating a community. We are not creating anything. So it's just a meetup. So you have to understand that friendship, just as we are changing, so does friendship do. And it's not your fault. This is a natural part of a human experience. When you go to a different town, you develop new friends. When you go to a different country, you develop new friends. So you have to understand that most times actually, whenever a friendship is ending, it is ending so that we can clear some space, so that we can be aligned to connections with people who share our values. Let's say your values now are for educating your children better than you are raised up. Group of schools, send them to music, send them to drama, send them to dirt biking. On weekends, you want to go out and meet like-minded people. Okay? So some of your friendships have to end, but they are ending so that you can create more space. It's like God is taking out people in your life, but you're sticking to them. You went to school together. These are my friends. And so how are you going to create friendships with people who have the same values like you? Maybe you have joined a golf club. You need to create space to become friends with those people in the golf club who now can give you work. You get where I'm going with this? So some of your friendships are actually blocking you. Because the time you spend with those friends, discussing other people, discussing events, discussing the same business you have been for years. The more time you spend with that, the more or the less time you're spending with being aligned with people now who can connect you now to something that is more aligned to you or something that is even going to add more value to you. You get what I'm going for this? So you have to evolve. It's a new world. As the world evolves, as the world becomes whatever it's becoming, as you evolved yourself, as you are healing let's say you are healing. As you are healing, you need to find friends who are also on the healing journey. You cannot keep the old friends and now you want to be healed. That's not going to happen. And you have to start accepting that old friendships have to go. Let me give you an example. Let's say that your phone rings, and whenever your phone rings, whenever you look at the phone, when you see the name, you're like, huyo nitampigia baadaye, I'm going to call them later. That is someone you don't need in your life. The fact that that is someone you are willing to talk, maybe, as a by the way, that is the first sign that maybe you have outgrown that friendship. That is the first time. If when someone calls you, look at the phone and you're like, sasa huyu naye ananipigia kwa nini? That is because you have not accepted that that friendship is no longer aligned for you. You should have already moved on to a new friendship. Or maybe cut them off so you have more time to yourself instead of being distracted by them. So whenever you hear me, and when someone disturbs, that is why I never put my phone on what you can call flight mode when I'm live, because I need to know whom I need to cut off. For example, if you call me on a live and I disconnect the call, remember I have disconnected. Then you call me a second time and I disconnect the second time. Okay? If you call the third time and I disconnect you the third time, the next call that you're going to get from me is going to remind you where you stand. Because one, that means you don't care about me. Because if you cared, you know that sometimes I'm live, so when you call, I may disconnect you. That also means you don't watch my lives or you're not supporting me. That also means we are not aligned. That also means we are not on the same level. That means so many things unless it's business. And for that, I have a business line. Okay? So unless it's very important, there are those demons will be, okay, I have to take this, a demon calling me, they are being used, but I have to take this one. Then that can make sense. So start looking at your friendships, okay? Because some of these friendships are also the friendships that end you or land you in trouble. We should also be having these kind of classes or teachings where people should also learn that you don't have to live on societal expectations that just because we went to school together, we have to be friends for life. No, we can't. We are different people. You are lost in religion. You are lost in alcohol. You whatever thing you are lost in, or maybe you have picked another lifestyle that does not agree with mine. Just because we went to school together does not mean that we are friends. However, this is a spiritual page, and so we like going a little bit deep into the details. Anyone you went to school with, that means you shared a lot of time with, you shared a lot of classroom time, almost you shared a lot of similarity things together. When you are being taught math, you are being taught math as a collective by one person as a group. Spiritually speaking, that also means as a spiritual group race, you are traveling together. But think about it like this. When you go to a bus, when you're traveling in a bus, you are all going to Kampala, wherever you are traveling. You are all passengers with a common goal to go to Kampala. You have all been joined by destiny, but that doesn't mean that you may find one person you connect with. I mean, you have had people you've met in public transport and others married, or you got babies na vitu kama hizo. However, on a spiritual scale, that means that you were moving as a spiritual group race, you came together. This also can be explained in the fact that you are almost sharing the same age. So if you are 7, you are in that class. If you are 8, you are in that. So that also comes from the fact that you are sharing some age set. Okay? So that could be the only reason that was bringing you together. The fact that you are all 6-year-old, you are told to touch your ear to join high school. So that could be the only reason that you are brought together as a spiritual group race, because you are all 7 years, 8 years, you are in this class, 9 years, you are being labeled in the world. So that could be the only reason. Doesn't mean that you are friends, but because you are relating in the same classroom, now you call that friendship. Okay? Normalize cutting friendships that no longer serve you. Okay? Normalize cutting relationships that no longer serve you. Cut them off. Okay? That is someone, for example, someone is saying, Sam will call 50 times to say, I was just checking on you. Yeah, actually, that is coming from lack. They need to heal because they need to be validated. They are not actually checking on you. They just need to feel relevant. So if they check on you, they'll be like, this is, let me see who is this. Zaina, I have a question for you. Have you seen a snail lately on your window? We keep it moving. Or from your window, have you seen like an eagle fly? We keep it moving. Let me see if you have any questions. So yeah, so we have so many things that you have to unlearn. Okay? We have so many things that you have to unlearn. So, and also feel no shame or regret. Okay? Feel no regret or regret. Someone is asking what is the significance of the moonjack deer. So what is that? Is that like a deer? Is that like a deer, an animal or something? Okay. So before you go even very, I have seen birds on my windows every morning. So whenever you want to correspond something to spirituality, also depends on what, when you see the deer, what's on your mind. Don't just see a deer on a movie and now equate it to spirituality. If you have not seen the deer yourself, if someone is saying, you know, when you see this, it means this in spirituality, but you have not seen it for yourself, then it doesn't mean anything. However, if you have seen it for yourself and it resonates with you, then it means something. Okay? It means something. No, the question was specifically, the snail question was specifically for Zena. It was not for everyone. It was specifically for Zena. So if she didn't, then, if she hasn't seen, then it. So the thing will be, there's something that is moving very slow that is about to take off. That is for Zena. Something that was going very slow, like a snail's pace. That is why I use the word snail. A snail moves very slow, so it was going at a very snail's pace, but is about to take off. That was the message. Okay? Now, don't be guilty when you're cutting off these people. Don't be guilty. I gave you an example. They put me in a WhatsApp group. I didn't even say anything. So they started talking in the WhatsApp group. They said, how many people? I know people like Richard. They used to call me Richard in school. Richard, Richie, ajaongea kwa group. Watu wengine hapa. You know. So I decided, I came to the group and I said, look here. We went to school together. Okay? We were friends, as you claim. However, I was in my own world. In that school, we shared the same school and everything, but I don't even want to be reminded of high school. I don't even want to remember high school. So you're putting me in a WhatsApp group. I don't even want to be in this group because it's going to remind me of something that I cannot even remember. I cannot remember a single day in high school where I was happy. I was so disconnected. I cannot remember my desk mates. I cannot tell you who was sitting next to me throughout my high school. It's cloudy. I can only remember a guy who used to sit behind me. Alikuwa anaitwa Steve Paul Kamale. Huyo nakumbuka, he was behind me. The reason I remember he was always behind me is because he always had everything. So if you needed anything, he would give you. Anything else was a blur. I cannot remember. So when you put me in a WhatsApp group thinking we are friends, I cannot relate. So even now, because we are not friends then, unless we are connected through business and anything, we become friends. I am not in that world anymore. You get what I'm going to this? Okay? So be comfortable. Leave those groups. Toka. Unawaambia vizuri sana. Give them an explanation. Tell them, you know what? We went to school together. I don't feel like we are friends. We don't have the same ambitions. We don't have the same similarities. So thank you, but I beg to leave. And trust me, You are going to do so many people a favor. The moment you leave, others are going to say, hata mimi, yenyewe kuongea ukweli, hata mimi sijisikii na hii group. So you are going even to do a lot of people favor. Okay? Unatoka. Okay? Yeah. So we have different people. Different people, different experiences. That for some people, school was the best time of their lives. Because maybe they made connections in school more than home. So different people, for some people, school was the best, home was the best. Depends on their depends on their parenting. You can make your children heal. Reparent at home, they're happy to come at home, they're happy to be in school. Heal generation. So it works both ways. Okay? Yeah. Shout out to Zena. So I'm going to end this live and start another. So also, let me tell you why I'm doing this. Because of yesterday's whatever was happening, you know what was happening, I don't even want to use the words, we couldn't go live because of course you know what they did with the system. So my phone's algorithm is already messed up. So if I continue going live for a long time, something is happening. Okay? Yeah, some exits are very timely. You exit and the best things in life locate you. Exactly. You have to know when to get off. Get in, get out. Get in, get out. Okay? It doesn't matter how it looks like. Get in, get out. As long as it's for you. Remember, you come first. You come first. It's not about ego. It's all about you, baby. It's all about you. So I'm doing this like short ones. Short ones. So I'm going to disconnect this one and start another one. Okay? You're your own Messiah. Shout out to Maat. I'm disconnecting this one and starting another one.